Hello, hello, can you hear me? Can you please take a seat? We're going to start soon. Marty, can you hear me? Hi, Marty, can you hear me? Yes, that's great. And you can hear me well, that's good. So, Bart. Anna. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to ask Magda and Bart to take a seat. So we now have half an hour to ask further questions to Magda, Marty, and Bart. I hope you enjoyed the demo sessions. We did, everything we could to make it possible. There might have been some technical glitches. It wasn't easy to organize this for 150 people, so I hope, you'll understand if it wasn't perfect. So I have to say that we bought 2 different Wi-Fi connections specifically for the demo sessions. But it is true that the latency actually changes if you are connected to a cable. So that's... Yes, exactly. That's what... Ça va sans dire. I'm stating the obvious here. So, before... Okay, shall we... Okay, Marty... You've asked? Okay. Well, we could start. So the first question is, does the downloaded SIMO version work completely offline, and is the quality the same as the online version? Marty, you have the floor.
Yes. Let me turn off my own voice because I'm going to hear myself. For the downloaded version of SIMO Note, it is an app that is still connected to the internet. And as you may recall, Professor DeFrank mentioning earlier, usually the ASR engine resides in a server. And it's there for a particular reason, because this kind of AI calculation done by LLMs are what is called matrix multiplication, and it requires a lot of computational power. And it's very fitted for GPUs, and that's hence why NVIDIA's current stock market is so high. So we have been experimenting with local implementation, but unless you have a very good laptop that usually is a gaming laptop with pretty good graphics card, it is very hard to power a local ASR implementation good enough for interpreters to use. Granted, in the market, there are few CPU-based processors that's built for, I should say, like there are a few models that are built for CPU processing, but that takes some experimenting, and we're currently experimenting with that, and I can report that there is a few running models that we're running and trying to test out. So you can expect more information in the future, but as of now, the downloaded version is simply an app that you can download that doesn't involve the browser. So that's it.
Thank you, Marty. Do we have any questions in the room here? Also based on the demo sessions as well. Irina.
Hi, Marty. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, almost face to face. You're literally in front of me. So, a quick question. There was a previous version of SIMO Consecutive that actually looked like notebook and allowed you to take notes. I know that you upgraded it, but some people got attached to the previous version. Would it be possible to get that as an option? That's my first question. And the second option, what is the location of your servers?
Please, Marty.
Yes, thank you for that question. And I think this is next to the best thing of meeting face to face. Now, about the older version, let me double check with you. Are you referring to the one that has a line in the middle? So on the left side is the script,
Yes.
and the right side is where you can see your own notes.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I have received that feedback and I have reported that to our lead engineer, and that's a docket item. We just haven't gotten to it. To bring it back actually requires us to reverse a few things in the newer model, and also requires us to make some adjustments. But yes, I have gotten that feedback, and I actually am the one pushing for trying to bring that one back. Now, as you remember, back in the days when we had that arrangement, there's a page flip mode, pagination mode. And that pagination is also, we also took it out. And originally, I can share with you a little bit of detail. That pagination is there because we couldn't figure out how to get your handwritten notes anchored to the script, because it keeps, if anything changes a little bit, your handwritten notes and the script itself kind of gets detached from one another, and the pagination is a way to ensure that. But now we figured out how to do that, so it's scrolling up, and we need to kind of reverse a few things. But do anticipate that we'll be able to find that old model and then bring it back. The other part is that I'm happy to hear that a lot of people like the older arrangements. We actually, when our engineers and our founder decided to go with the scroll up model, we heard that most consecutive interpreters do a site consec. What it is that they look at the transcript and do the consec there, and people don't take notes on our platform. From our narrow understanding at that time. But I see that a lot of people do use it in that particular mode, and we are working to bring that back. And your second question is about the server. For the Western Hemisphere, our server's in Silicon Valley, where I'm usually stationed.
What about the other hemisphere?
The only other hemisphere is the Asian, Middle Eastern, and North Africa, and that is in China.
Okay, thank you. Magda, do we have questions on Slido? Maya, oh my God, sorry.
That's okay. Have you been working lately on this, preparing this PRIM seminar?
I've got one brain cell left.
Okay. The next question on Slido is, are there any issues around confidentiality?
Who wants to?
As far as Boothie goes, no, because we are running the model locally on university servers, which is also, of course, restricting the use of the whole thing, obviously. I can't speak for the others, but I will gladly pass on the mic to my colleagues.
Well, I think I've already answered that question in the session, but in a nutshell, for the standard version, yes, a lot of concerns. It even says it in the terms and conditions, so don't enter any sensitive data there. For the premium version, they say it's protected, the data is protected, the input is not being used for training. They say the servers are located in the EU, and they do not disclose the provider. So you would have to trust them on what they say. For me personally, an offline tool would be the safest way to go. So I'm waiting for a high quality, easy to use offline tool.
Thank you. Marty?
Yeah, so for us, one of our design principle is to keep everything local. So if you can imagine that SIMO node as kind of a wrapper around different channels where you can select to submit the audio data to, and these are third-party vendors. And say, for example, Microsoft is one, and for all the other ones, the Asian ones as well. Those are encrypted channels, and that's the third-party vendors supply them. So the security is as good as their channel they built it as, and I'm confident to say that for the third-party ones, there are all enterprise level encryption in there. So it's the same as, say, for example, you're sharing a sensitive document on OneDrive in Microsoft. There, it's treated pretty much the same with the audio stream that you submit to Microsoft ASR, from my understanding. Now, we do have our own ASR server. Now, to say that that is our own, we have done tweakings to it. We have modified it a little bit, but it is still a Google service. It is still a Google service that we done modification to. And the modification is also local. So as long as your computer is secure, the script is local. We don't take the audio file and train it. It goes straight to the vendors. So they do have, say, for example, Microsoft, they do have stipulations in their agreement that they might use some clips as quality assurance, but we can all guess what that actually means in practice. But in Simo's case, all of the audio feed is given to the third-party vendors who have their encryption level, just like their other services that you get from them. And for ourselves, we don't keep anything at the servers, except with the exception of the cases where you would like to transfer your glossary from one device to another, and you want to back it up in the cloud. And that is only 5 documents each. And that we don't use for training at all. We try to keep the price low so that we don't keep anything saved on the servers as much as possible. So that's our design stance.
Thank you, Marty. Maya.
Marty, just related to that, very specifically still, the GDPR, how does SIMO stand on that?
Yeah, let me turn off my own voice. Yes, we actually follow the California standard. So the California Consumer Privacy Act, and I believe that we did a comparison some time ago. Granted, I'm a little outdated on that. That is considered part on par with GDPR, because California has their own standards, and it often can put out standards that are more stringent than the federal government's, the United States government. So we have adhered to the California privacy standard.
Thank you. Any questions here? Otherwise, we'll ask a final. Katarina, do we have a mic there? My colleagues, I don't know. I lost them. Okay, I'll give it to you. Wait.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, thank you very much for an amazing presentation. I think that both Prims and the presenters have done an amazing job. Thank you so much. Now, we had Boothie as the latest, or the last of the 3 presentations, and there was a mention about how to use it more sustainably or ecologically, that if there was the use by one of the super users and then we were to use the link as the other interpreters that were piggybacking on the super user, we would have a smaller carbon footprint. I think that this is something that concerns us all with the use of AI and streaming services and what have you. Is there a way that you foresee that you can actually reduce the carbon footprint either in SIMO, or is that a concern about the use in the future? Would an app be a better way? Is a local use a better way? What is the best way forward in this?
Thank you. Marty, please.
Yes, thank you for that question. I myself, because one of my clients and the examples I use involve climate dialogue, so that is a topic that comes up. It is true that these large data centers are great source of carbon footprint. They also requires a lot of energy, which basically is transfer emissions because the other power sources will need to generate that electricity for the data centers. As of now, for SIMO's case, we're only mainly using the vendor services. So all we can do is monitor what the vendors are doing to improve their carbon footprint. I would say on a personal level, we are actively exploring local implementation, and depending on what your stance is, we are exploring some of the local implementation models from China. And probably one you've heard of is DeepSeek, and they're excellent in terms of leaving a very small footprint. And that technology behind that is something called quantization. So if you can, when you're looking for a particular model, if you see quantization in there, do pay a little bit more attention to it, because they use a technique to really shrink down the footprint of the model itself, and requires a lot less computation. So that is something we're exploring, but as of now, the technology landscape is evolving, and smaller models with requiring less energy is still in the experimental stage.
Thank you. Bart or Magda, would you like to add something, anything else? No? Okay. Let's ask a final question from Slido. Maya.
There are so many questions in Slido, and if I go for the highest, or the most upvoted question, I think I'm not sure if you answered that question already, so forgive me if you did, but it's when Simon pulls audio from a Zoom meeting, are hosts and or attendees notified about it via chat or email?
Marty,
That's
please.
a great question. Yeah. So what we do in SIMO is that we only reroute the sound on your local device. Say, for example, I'm using my MacBook right now, and I can hear the audio from the meeting room. All I'm doing is locally to take the sound stream that goes to your speaker. I take a split of it and I feed it into SIMO node. So from the speaker and Zoom's perspective, all it is that it's outputting to my device, and my device is treating them by splitting them into two exits. One exit is your speaker or your headpiece. The other is going into SIMO node. So as far as Zoom's concerned, as the speaker's concerned, there's no notification, but it's equivalent as serving you, the sole audience that is using that device.
Thank you. Well, I think we're coming to the end of this session, but before moving on to the next part, let's have a look at the bingo, because here, there's some chocolates to give out. So, who got the whole table filled in? So, who got all the answers? Please raise your hand and we'll check. Anna, okay. I'm just asking random questions, so we'll see whether, you got the right answer. MT stands for? That's good. Which tool has a force replace function? SIMO, that's good. Which tool has its own social media profiles? Who said Interpret Bank? Hey, can you girls please help me? We need to launch chocolates. Just throw them. To those who actually answered correctly. I open this. Cece, you go. So, congrats. You got one as well. That's good. Brava. Then, which tool offers a separate window for numbers? Bravi. Well done. Irina. That's good. Which tool allows you to upload a glossary with more than 2 languages? Outstanding. Even more. Wait, you got one as well. That's good. At the end here, let's see if we got some of the answers. This ASR tool only works in Chrome. Interpret bank again. Let's see. Okay. EVS stands for? Oh, bravo. That's good. Someone from there. That's good. What about here? Well, that's easy. That's an easy one. ASR stands for? Here's, come on. Killing people. So, final one. LLM stands for? That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wait, we have a small gift for you. This is AIIC branded, so you know. Marty, as soon as we'll see you somewhere in the world, we'll give you the gift as well, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you to Bart, Magda, and Marty. Thank you. Now, now we're going to show you a QR code that links to a document which was developed by members of the Science Hub. This is what you will be able to use if you want in the future, whenever you want to use a title and you want to compare titles, okay? So scan it. Of course, you'll receive the presentation and all the documents that we've shown today, so that's fine. But it's just for you to have it. Before we close this session, I'd like to thank all the volunteers. We had 20 volunteers. Each of them are actually taking care of one table. I'd like to ask for the volunteers from the Science Hub to stand up, please, because your help was precious. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have some chocolates for you as well. Livia will give you a chocolate bar from Belgium as well. Thank you very much. And the other volunteers, please, can you stand up, especially from AIIC Spain. There were many colleagues who helped us. Please stand up because you know who you are. We'll give you a chocolate bar as well. Thank you very much. They had to come in very early to set up, all the computers. So thank you very much. Now, we'll move on to the afternoon session, which is dedicated to AI outside the booth. And I'd like to call on stage Tomás, Gildo, Monica, and then the moderators, Livia and Maya. Sorry? And Viviana, I'm sorry. This is me. No, please, come. There's 4 of us. I was thinking, I'm missing someone. Who's the... No, please. Please, you're very precious. Okay, let's...
No, I wrote all those things down because I didn't know. Well, because
Vivian and Monica, please take a seat. I'll take the other. There's a chair there.
Gave me one, so I thought she'd given me. Yes. They delivered it to her, not to me.
Yes, thank you.
We decided to stand so that we can go back and forth. Okay, as we get ready to start, I'm going to allow our speakers to introduce themselves.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hermenegildo, but almost no one calls me that because that's too long of a name. So they rather call me Gildo. Yes. I am a software engineer. I currently work at Dorier under David Granite supervision. Some of you may know him. For some time, I have worked as a medical interpreter as well, but it was for a really short period of time. I got an MBA, and currently I am specializing myself in AI. So you will hear me talk a lot about AI today. It's really nice to be here. It's an honor, and let's make it happen.
So just as a quick reminder, David Granite was one of our speakers in Bali.
Si me permiten, voy a hablar en español. Quienes necesiten interpretación, y aprovecho la oportunidad para agradecer al equipo de intérpretes voluntarios por permitirme hablar en mi lengua materna. Bueno, yo soy Viviana Tipiani, intérprete también de conferencias del mercado privado de la región SAM, de América del Sur, y representante de parte del equipo de trabajo sobre inteligencia artificial del Science Hub. Y el día de hoy, bueno, trabajamos obviamente con diferentes proyectos y el día de hoy voy a también compartir un poco la perspectiva del grupo, pero sobre todo también la perspectiva de mi región. Así que vamos a hablar mucho sobre inteligencia artificial, pero desde la perspectiva de la práctica, lo que sentimos los intérpretes.
Gracias. Yo voy a expresarme en español también y aprovecho para darle las gracias a nuestros maravillosos intérpretes voluntarios. Me llamo Tomás Pereira Ginés-Jacmé, soy intérprete de conferencias y traductor, estoy afincado en París. Fui miembro, bueno, trabajo en el mercado privado y en el institucional. Fui miembro del Technical and Health Committee de la AIIC, que ya no existe, y coordinador del grupo de trabajo sobre inteligencia artificial cuando se creó, desde su creación, hasta la reestructuración de los órganos técnicos de la AIIC y del nacimiento, la creación del AI Workstream, que asesoré técnicamente durante varios meses, hasta la Asamblea de Lima más o menos. Y un poco después, sobre todo en torno al árbol de decisiones y la guía de buenas prácticas. Aparte de la interpretación, tengo experiencia y competencias en análisis de proyectos informáticos, un poquito de programación también, nuevas tecnologías y ciencia de datos. Y me interesan especialmente las repercusiones de las nuevas tecnologías en el ámbito profesional, sobre todo en la traducción y en la interpretación, y llevo 15 años más o menos sensibilizando en torno a estas cuestiones a compañeros, traductores, intérpretes y al público en general.
This will be very short. I'm Monika Ott, based in Hamburg, Germany, working with English, German, and Swedish, but I'm not here as an individual. I'm here representing the group of consulting interpreters. We are 19 members, group and individual members. I don't know how many that is in total because Calliope has like 85 alone, so it's many. You can give me the correct number later. And that's me. I was asked here as a consultant interpreter and sharing our take on AI outside of the booth.
Well, once again, thank you all for being here and helping us out with this panel. I will start with Gildo, representing the mice industry here. Could you tell us a bit about the mice industry perspective on the use of AI? how do you use AR for CRMI and sales, what you see across your clients, what works, what doesn't work, and what adoption tends to look like of adoption of AI.
Well, that's a great question. In mice, AI adoption has moved pretty quickly, I must say, from cool little experiments to real practical productivity gains, especially when it comes to customer relationship and sales. Among many different use cases that we've been constantly exploring on the use of AI, one that's revealing to be having a really big impact has to do with client conversations. So say we have a meeting with a client. Right after that, we get AI to give us a summary, a quick recap of the meeting and what to do next. And all that simply from rough meeting notes. Then someone reviews it and logs that information into a CRM platform, into a spreadsheet, whatever it is that we're using to track customer interaction, right? And for follow-ups is exactly the same. We get AI to give us that first solid email draft, which again, someone then reviews, edits, and sends. So the key here is we use AI, but we have always a human in the loop, right? And just by doing that, we are getting speed and productivity, of course. Now, regarding what works and what doesn't, from our own experience and from what we've been seeing across clients, what works is using AI into existing workflows. In fact, nothing better than using AI to do stuff that we already do, to do stuff that we already know how to do. In this way, we are much more equipped, we are better prepared to guide AI into doing all those things. So this works perfectly. What doesn't work? Expecting magic from AI, right? It doesn't make eggs yet. So let's not try to let AI close sales. Let's not let AI on the loose, handling a client conversation end to end. That's actually a great recipe for disaster. We don't do it and we don't recommend, at least not now, right? There might be a time where AI might get that good that we don't have to worry about all these things. But this time is not now. For now, let's be cautious about using AI to handle client communication or things like that. Regarding what adoption tends to look like, it's a little bit of what I was saying regarding what works. Usually teams start with a very small use case, right? They start using AI on that small use case internally first. And then as time goes by, they tend to progress into a more structured, full automation once governance, privacy policies, all these things, once they are clear and in place.
Can I go? All right, my turn. Oops, sorry. So we're going to the consultant interpreters. So in this part one, we want to emphasize we're looking at AI tools outside of the booth, right? So we are very curious to find out, Monica, not just you, but I'm sure you got some feedback and input from your colleagues. Where do you see AI being used as an administrative help, for example, with recruitment or payment as consultant interpreters? Can you give us some examples of that?
Could I also ask some follow-up questions on what Gildo said? Like now or later? It's a panel. Because here I am trying to claim that our clients value human interaction and human conversation. And then you come and say that you hold conversations, you conduct conversations with your clients with the help of AI. So my first question is, are these conversations recorded? Do you tell the clients? That's my first question. And I will go back. I will come back to the admin question later.
That's actually a great question. And there's a term I used, which was rough meeting notes. So you take notes.
The human being takes notes.
Exactly.
And when does AI come in?
You feed these notes to the AI. And
Why
AI,
don't you just make the summary yourself?
the summary of the meeting?
Because that's your notes, basically.
I mean, yeah, of course. And usually before AI, that's how things were being done, right?
Okay.
But now with AI,
But it's not recorded. You don't tell the, because my client would stop talking to me right away.
No. In case
Okay,
it is recorded, because of course there are some meetings that are indeed recorded, but everyone is aware of that the meeting is being recorded and how those notes or this recording is going to be used.
Okay.
Everyone is informed beforehand.
Okay, thank you. So the admin question. I asked my fellow CI colleagues, and I wanted to know in what way they have used AI outside of the booth for admin tasks. We do use, I wouldn't say AI, we use templates. We use templates to streamline processes. We share docs. We have project management platforms. So they structure the payables and the receivables right away. They turn a quote into a contract and a contract into an invoice, things like that. But this is not AI, strictly speaking. All the answers that I've received were, no, we don't use AI, only for admin purposes. We have these, well, platforms, programs, tools, but not AI. AI is used for preparation, but only if it's in the public domain, of course. We don't use AI to write emails or to do, I don't know, research on the client. Maybe you could do that. But the answers that I have received were pretty straightforward and a clear no.
Just want to say, the Slido is also open. So if you are thinking of questions, it's the same Slido. You can put your questions in and, of course, upvote each other's questions or do a follow-up of what you heard. Yeah, so we keep this interactive. I know not everyone wants the microphone, so if you type it in Slido, you have a chance that we will take the microphone for you. Yeah?
Okay, so the next question is for you, Viviana. Can you tell us a bit about your market reaction when it comes to AI-powered applications outside the booth?
Claro, lo que en mi caso hice fue contactarme con algunas colegas de la región para poder recopilar algunas preguntas y conocer en la práctica si utilizan o no algún tipo de herramienta con inteligencia artificial, que probablemente muchos de ustedes conocen. Y tengo algunas citas que quería compartir con ustedes porque creo que muchos de ustedes podrían sentirse identificados o identificadas con las respuestas y vamos a ver un poco la reacción que tienen al escucharlas. Una colega dice, no uso inteligencia artificial, es más, corto la IA cuando puedo, me altera los nervios, me invade y no me deja pensar ni redactar. Incluso me retiré de un grupo de colegas porque ahora solo hablan de inteligencia artificial. Ja, ja, ja. Soy muy old school. Por otro lado, para cosas administrativas o marketing no uso inteligencia artificial, solo lo uso para prepararme para eventos. Otra colega, mira, te soy sincera, todavía no estoy muy canchera con el uso de la IA. Solo uso ChatGPT para pulir contenido o corregir algunos textos que quiero publicar en redes, mails a clientes. No mucho más que eso. Tengo pendiente ver material de algunos cursos que hice para aprovechar más la inteligencia artificial, pero todavía no implementé nada. Y por aquí una última intervención, dice, te cuento que uso ChatGPT de arriba a abajo. No que lo sepa manejar a la perfección, pero sí pago la suscripción mensual y me ayuda con tareas semanales como, por ejemplo, búsqueda de oportunidades de trabajo, seguimiento, o también me está ayudando para la creación de mi primera página web. Y de hecho, otra colega hace referencia a Framer, que es la página web que utilizó, framer.com, para crear su propia página. Y así van otras respuestas también interesantes. Y yo creo que uno puede plantearse en este caso que el mercado específicamente está en una etapa de transición probablemente selectiva, en la que definitivamente por un lado tienes a personas que desconfían, que sienten una sobrecarga cognitiva, no solamente a nivel de las tantas herramientas que se encuentran ahora disponibles en el mercado, pero también el hecho de que constantemente hablamos y escuchamos sobre inteligencia artificial fuera y dentro de nuestros círculos, tanto personales como profesionales, y es como, estoy harta, ¿no? No más. Y también, por otro lado, personas que sí tienen interés en probar, en jugar un poco con las herramientas, pero que al mismo tiempo sienten que les falta desarrollar más las habilidades, tener más confianza, saber en qué usos, en qué opciones puede aplicarse o no, sobre todo en el ámbito de nuestro trabajo como pequeños empresarios en el mercado privado. Recuerden de que la región, sobre todo de SAM, tiene el mercado privado y son unos pequeños, en muchos casos, pequeñas empresas que de una o dos personas que no necesariamente tenemos el personal suficiente para poder cubrir todos los diferentes roles que tiene que cubrir una empresa grande o mediana. Entonces, así es como se ve mi mercado en este momento.
Muchas gracias.
So talking about the market, Thomas, you know a little bit more about the French market and how it has reacted. Could you tell us a bit more? It's okay.
Sí, bueno, comparto mucho de lo que ha dicho nuestra compañera y lo que ha dicho Hermenegildo también sobre los límites, ¿no? Las líneas rojas que hay que bueno, respetar en el caso de las nuevas tecnologías por muchas razones de las que seguramente tenga la ocasión de hablar más adelante. En el mercado francés, los compañeros directos, es decir, mi círculo, digamos, más cercano de profesionales, no utiliza habitualmente estas herramientas basadas en IA ni para preparar las conferencias, ni después de la conferencia para seguir fusionando glosarios o añadir notas que se han tomado en la cabina, etcétera, etcétera. No contento con eso, quise saber qué ocurría en un círculo un poco más amplio de profesionales de la interpretación y me dediqué durante unos meses a preguntar yo directamente o a través de compañeros si esas personas utilizaban las famosas KI tools o no. Y la respuesta es que en general no. En Francia, en el mercado francés, hay muy poco uso de esas herramientas. En todo caso, en mi entorno profesional cercano y no tan cercano. Y la verdad es que no me sorprende demasiado. Cuando irrumpe una nueva tecnología en nuestras vidas, a la mayoría de los usuarios, tanto en el ámbito personal como en el profesional, por desconocimiento, por interés personal, por miedo o por miedo... por miedo a quedarse atrás, el famoso FOMO, ¿no? Fear of Missing Out, que está completamente diseñado por algunas empresas de la Silicon Valley. De hecho, no es una casualidad que nos sintamos así. Eso se idea en los proyectos informáticos desde el principio. Pues por todas estas razones no paran de hablar de IA, les parece que es, bueno, sin eso no vamos a poder seguir haciendo nuestro trabajo, etcétera, y no analizan con el suficiente desapego, diría yo, esas nuevas tecnologías, que es realmente lo que hay que hacer. Yo no estoy para nada en contra de la IA, estoy en contra de la IA a ciegas, es decir, hay que dar un paso atrás, analizar las cosas correctamente para poder saber cuál es el buen uso de esas tecnologías. Si no, las consecuencias pueden ser bastante negativas y nefastas, sobre todo, como lo decía nuestra compañera, para pymes o incluso autónomos. Somos una sola persona, no tenemos un servicio jurídico que vaya a responder en caso de problema a lo del compartir con consentimiento o no datos, etcétera. O sea que, bueno, y además ocurre otra cosa, y es que con las nuevas tecnologías hay que legislar antes de que haya leyes, en la mayor parte de los casos. Y ha pasado más que nunca con la inteligencia artificial. Es decir, que ni siquiera todos los países europeos han traducido el AI Act en sus legislaciones nacionales. La IA está ahí, la estamos utilizando y no tenemos ni siquiera marcos legales a veces para para defender nuestros derechos, para responder en caso de que se nos acuse de algo, etcétera, etcétera. Entonces, cuidado con esas cosas. Esas son las famosas líneas rojas. Y supongo que, y acabo con esto, las razones principales por las cuales en el mercado francés no se utilizan demasiado esas tecnologías todavía es porque, en primer lugar, por algo que sentimos todos empíricamente, y lo comentaba esta mañana, antes no sabíamos pues docenas de números de teléfono de memoria o direcciones, o sabíamos cómo llegar a un lugar sin tener que activar el Waze o lo que sea, etc. Lo que ocurre con estas tecnologías es que externalizamos parte de nuestra memoria o de nuestras capacidades cognitivas cuando las utilizamos sin darnos cuenta siquiera, y eso después tiene consecuencias, por supuesto. Hay un estudio muy interesante de MIT que analizó las zonas del cerebro que se activan entre los usuarios que utilizan ChatGPT y los que no. Y los resultados son súper elocuentes. Podéis echarles un vistazo a las imágenes cuando se utiliza ChatGPT comparado con una persona que no se activa casi nada en el cerebro. Es decir, la capacidad de síntesis, de análisis, etcétera, y es normal porque eso es lo que está haciendo la máquina por nosotros en realidad. Esa es una razón por la cual los franceses son reacios a estas tecnologías, yo creo, y la otra es porque en Francia es el país de los derechos humanos, se dice, ¿no? De los derechos de autor, etc. Y como hay muchos vacíos jurídicos en cuanto a propiedad intelectual, uso de datos indebido, con consentimiento, sin consentimiento, etc., y que todavía no hay suficiente jurisprudencia, pues yo creo que esas son las razones principales por las cuales estas herramientas todavía no han tenido mucho éxito en Francia.
To say anything, Maya?
I can certainly say something because I was wondering, you have all spoken now, each had a turn. Do you want to respond to any of what you said to each other? Yes, you do?
Sí, yo creo que Hermenegildo ha dicho de manera muy sintética lo esencial que hay que saber sobre estas tecnologías y cómo abordarlas. Es decir, que por supuesto que está la importancia de los datos que compartimos, personales y profesionales, está la ciberseguridad y está... ha descrito perfectamente cómo tenemos que utilizar estas tecnologías según mi opinión. Es decir, estas tecnologías lo que hacen es cosas que ya sabemos hacer y lo que hay que utilizarlas para acabar con tareas que son súper engorrosas para nosotros y que no nos aportan nada. Como por ejemplo, fusionar glosarios. Eso es maravilloso, vamos, porque a quién le gusta y qué obtenemos o sacamos de estar horas, ¿no? Cotejando glosarios y haciendo de 3 glosarios solo uno. Eso es la utilidad real por ahora de estas tecnologías, porque como decía nuestra compañera, no están listas, estamos todavía en una fase de transición.
Yeah, I do agree with pretty much everything that was said here, especially that we're using AI. AI is doing nothing that we don't know how to do, right? We're using AI to help us do things that we already do. So we should look at AI as a tool that can augment what we are capable of doing, how fast we can do them, and the workload we can take care of in a relatively short period of time. And of course, everything related to privacy, confidentiality, all these must be taken into consideration. So whoever is planning to use AI, I mean, when we use it on a personal level, right, we are maybe not that strict regarding the regarding the data security and all these things. But when we are using it on an enterprise level, on an organization, dealing with clients and everything, like we have to be GDPR compliance, and we have to be really sure of what we are doing, what kind of data we are feeding into AI, especially when we are using public tools, right? Because we have this other part where many companies are now having their own servers, right? And they are having their AI within their own infrastructure. That's a way to fight this, the compliance, privacy, governance, everything related to it. Now, of course, not everyone has the ability or is capable of having their own server. So for anyone not having or not using a private server, we have to be really careful. And one thing that we do is, for instance, if we are to use a public tool and we are to feed some client data, we make sure we anonymize the data, right? We try to make it generic, not having company identifiers, names, location, things like that. We just feed them something generic, which is impossible to tie to anyone or any company in specific. So this is one of the measures we have been taking into consideration when using public tools.
Good tip, Gildo. Thank you.
Si me permiten, yo tengo una curiosidad. Quisiera preguntar a la audiencia, ¿cuántos de ustedes usan o han usado, probado algún tipo de inteligencia artificial fuera de la cabina? No estamos hablando de glosarios, ni de interpretación, ni nada relacionado con interpretación directamente. ¿Alguien ha jugado con ChatGPT, con DeepSeek, por ahí? ¿Sí? ¿Varios? Ok, muy bien. ¿Y se han preguntado sobre las cuestiones éticas, sobre las dificultades que podríamos tener al proporcionar ese tipo de información, de datos? ¿Sí? ¿Qué hacen al respecto? ¿Qué han hecho? Además de, obviamente, hacerse la pregunta internamente, ¿han buscado quizás otras alternativas? A mí lo que me sucede a lo largo de los años, porque siempre me ha gustado un poco buscar aplicaciones o programas, es que antes era mucho más fácil como seguir cierto tipo de recomendaciones, sobre todo en nuestra área, en nuestra profesión. Pero ahora hay una cantidad impresionante de opciones que uno no tiene ni el tiempo de sentarse a probar con calma y reconocer cuáles son esas opciones más viables, más seguras, que nos abran el espacio a, ok, esto sí lo podría aplicar para ciertas cosas, específicamente para mi negocio. O, bueno, para mi vida personal quizás también, ¿no? Y yo creo que es interesante porque al final del día hay muchas cosas que pueden facilitarnos la vida, por ejemplo, para tareas repetitivas, cuestiones que no necesariamente tenemos que hacer y que quizás no planteamos o no vemos las opciones porque no tenemos ese tipo de intercambio y espacio para conversar como asociación, como intérpretes.
Well, thank you. So I think that with this, we can close this first part of this panel, break for coffee, and then when we come back, we will try to expand this a little bit.
We still have half an hour.
We do?
Yes. Yes, we still have half an hour.
I checked. Yeah, okay.
Yes, 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 yes.
So,
This is good. All right, I see people standing. I'm actually have a follow-up question from what you said, Viviana. I have a microphone, but you didn't hear me? No? Okay. All right. Okay, so I have a follow-up question because I thought it was interesting that she asked you if you were using AI. I'm actually wanted to know who feels they have to use AI, otherwise they're not keeping up. You have to. This is a serious debate out there because if you're not using it, you're the one not using it. You're not keeping up with the new developments. So who is using AI outside of the booth because they feel they really have to?
okay. CCIC, okay, it's okay.
There's a clarification question. Okay, Claudia, what's the clarification question?
I would qualify that I think that I have to know AI, not to be left out, and then I decide whether it helps or not, and to what extent.
Good point. Oh, now we're getting to it. All right, okay, Levin.
Yes, thank you. I think all of us have to use it, whether we want it or not, because when you have a subscription to some service, and when the service removes a phone number which you could call in the past and leaves you with a chatbot, this is where you have to use AI, and that's rubbish. Because you have to answer 20 questions which have nothing to do with your concrete situation before it gives you either a human or a phone number. So what I hate to think is that how much energy in the servers and everywhere else is being used for this nonsense. So, and another question I'm getting when we are talking about the kite tools and all this marvelous technology is what actually makes sense? Teaching yourself to handle numbers properly or have the kite tool to handle the numbers for you, knowing that in 5 years from now, all those chips that are being now, well, the data centers are now being filled in, will become a pile of garbage up to the moon, you know, actually. And with all the trouble that rare earth minerals that are going to be extracted, wars that are going to be fought because of it, because we are, you know, because we supposedly need a crutch. Let me say one thing. Here, we are interpreters, we are top sporters, we are runners. We don't need crutches. So this is what my 2 cents.
I think I saw a hand here.
Sí, algunos datos para ilustrar lo que es real y lo que es ficticio y lo que se nos vende y lo que podemos aprovechar, porque eso es esencial. El 90% de los proyectos con IA en las empresas y fuera se quedan en la etapa de piloto, es decir, que no van a más, para que os tengáis una idea de cómo está el mercado. Y después cuando decía que el FOMO, el fear of missing out, es decir, miedo a quedarse atrás, ¿no? Si no te pones al día, etcétera, etcétera, eso está diseñado en parte por las empresas que desarrollan esos programas. O sea que, y como decía nuestro compañero, dentro de 5 años la mayoría de esas aplicaciones estarán obsoletas y tendremos que volver a aprender cómo funcionan las siguientes. Entonces, lo importante es saber coger la balanza, cada uno, porque eso es muy personal, y pensar, ¿me vale la pena realmente dedicar este tiempo a aprender a utilizar estas aplicaciones con respecto a lo que me están ofreciendo. Yo creo que lo más importante es eso para saber si es válido o no.
When I was asked to join the panel, I told them, are you sure you want me on that panel? Because I have only ever used ChatGPT once, because I use it when it makes sense. And representing CIs, it doesn't make sense to us. And I asked the colleagues, and I was like, give me something. I need to say something when I'm on the panel. But we don't use it for conversations with clients, conversations with colleagues, putting together teams that make sense for various reasons. Conversing, communication, like human communication is what I believe our clients deserve and what my colleagues deserve. I would feel offended if I received an email written by AI. I would feel deeply offended, really. I want that email to tell me this is written with AI. I'm not going to read it. Yeah, but they have to, actually they should tell me. They're obliged to tell me. I'm not saying I don't know anything about AI. It's what Claudia said. This is me learning about AI thanks to this wonderful association and all these crazy people knowing about tech stuff. This is me learning, but I only use it when it makes sense. Also, out of reasons of sustainability, because this is what Livan said. That's my 2 cents, yeah.
Thank you for saying sustainability. I was waiting for that word to come. If you see how much water needs to be used to have any use of AI. I'm going to come to you, but we have one question in the back or a comment.
Es un
Yes,
comentario, Hilda Tejada de México, Centroamérica y el Caribe. A mí me gusta usar la inteligencia artificial en el aula para enseñarles a mis estudiantes a pensar y a que sepan distinguir. Yo hago competencias dentro del aula donde digo inteligencia artificial contra inteligencia natural. Y entonces les doy un tema y pido a los estudiantes que saquen un glosario pensando en las palabras que ellos saben, movilización de conocimiento. Y a los otros les pido que usen la inteligencia artificial. La mayoría de las veces gana la inteligencia natural, porque en la inteligencia artificial los 5 minutos que les doy para prepararse se la pasan pensando cómo preguntarle a la inteligencia artificial en lugar de ponerse a pensar en el tema. Entonces creo que uno también puede usar la inteligencia artificial para demostrar que no lo puede todo, que no lo sabe todo y enseñarnos a desarrollar pensamiento crítico. Eso en el aula de interpretación. Como docente, también la propia Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México nos obliga a tomar cursos de inteligencia artificial para aplicarla en el aula y poder responder a las preguntas de nuestros estudiantes, cuestiones éticas, cuestiones de género, cuestiones de sesgo, de derechos humanos. Es otra visión que se puede tener sobre el uso de estas herramientas que no necesariamente tienen que ver con la parte administrativa, sino también con el lado humano y la forma en que nosotros nos relacionamos con la tecnología. Gracias.
I just wanted to add a comment to what you said, Monica, because when you asked, why do you want me in this panel? We want you because you represent the CI group, and this is a panel meant for discussion. It's not to advocate anything. It's for us to know what people are doing out there so that we can learn from one another as we usually do.
We had Alexandra first. Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra from Dublin. I'm also a consultant interpreter. And I'm going to go back to what Monica said and whoever just spoke as a teacher. You know what they're saying, that AI is not going to replace teachers. AI is going to replace teachers who don't use AI. And it's the same for interpreters who will be replaced by AI who don't, AI will replace interpreters who don't use AI. So as a consultant interpreter, I am overworked, of course. So I'm saying I'm going to be replaced by a bot or by AI or by one of the tools that Gildos is using if I don't use AI. So what confidential, anonymized tasks can I trust ChatGPT to handle for me, at least as a first draft? Sometimes I could say, well, you know, can you write me a first draft and then I edit it? Well, yes, a client of 10 years tells me his mother has died in a terrible car accident. How long do you think that email is going to take me? So I say to ChatGPT, please, can you write an email for this client? I don't give names. His mom has been in a car accident. My goodness, I get 2 paragraphs. They're perfect. I just say, can you add a 3rd paragraph, make it a little bit more nicer because I've known him a long time. Yes, perfect. Edit, add his name, send it. A technician explains something to me or sends me an email that's quite complex. I said, the client is never going to be able to understand that. Feed that, anonymize it, feed that to ChatGPT. Say, can you make that understandable for somebody who doesn't know interpretation and who doesn't know technical stuff? Bling, in 2 seconds, I have something that is shorter, that is less waffly, and that makes me look good. And as an interpreter, if I save some energy, some level of tiredness, that increases my performance. And my performance is the most important thing to me for my client. So if an AI tool saves me some energy, saves me some brain power, and saves me some time so I can sleep more, yes, I'll take AI. So that's my question now, Gildo. What, from your experience, what tools, management tools, are your PCOs using, or the people from the mice industry, to be more efficient?
Yeah, I must say, Alexandra, you have absolutely nailed it. Like what you just said is exactly what I was trying to convey, and if I couldn't, then you just did. And thank you for that. Yeah, this is the beauty of it. When we look at AI as an augmentation tool, something that can give us more, kind of a superpower, right? And we all know, like with superpowers, we can do good or we can do bad. We just have to know the best way to use these tools in order to make us be much more than what we already are, to do much more than what we are currently doing now. So, for instance, when I was saying regarding the AI giving us summaries, giving us draft, something I said before, we never let AI on the loose. We never let AI handle client communication end to end. AI gives us that first draft, and then there's a human in the loop. At the end of the day, the human stays accountable. Of course, the first draft was AI generated, but the email that's going to be sent to the client, it doesn't belong to AI. There was a human in between that made sure to add few things, to tweak few things, and then send it to the client. If something goes wrong, this person is going to be held accountable. So we have now, I don't know, I believe you have heard of AI agents. We are now using, there are a lot of platforms where you can build these agents for specific use cases, right? You can make them specialists in one specific use case while you are there guiding it. Let's say, for instance, we have a specific thing, a specific workflow that we have 10 steps to complete, right? Let's say client communication, we are talking about this now. You want to use AI to help you be more productive, to help you never forget to follow up, to help you be faster in dealing with client and everything. You think, oh, okay, I'm going to use one of these platforms that help us create AI agents to help me with these specific workflows. Instead of delegating everything to AI, okay, I'm going to start with these 2 first steps, and I'm just going to see how will AI deal with it. Made a mistake, correct it. Like, try to craft it, try to make like a second you, right? If per day you were able to deal with 5 clients Now with AI, you can do with 10, with 15, with 20. But the key is always a human stays accountable. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. And we are, of course, in a stage where AI is not to be completely trusted. That's why we have to be always there.
Si me permiten, antes de que me olvide, simplemente con relación al comentario de Hilda sobre el uso de inteligencia artificial en las aulas. Bueno, quizás no lo dije, pero también soy docente y a mí me parece interesante ver los diferentes usos también en el espacio para capacitar a futuros intérpretes. Y lo que me parece útil es que los alumnos, las alumnas sobre todo, aprendan a diferenciar qué contenido produce la inteligencia artificial y qué contenido realmente produce un intérprete utilizando todas sus habilidades y todas las técnicas y estrategias que puede tener. Y solamente va a poder reconocer esa diferencia si utiliza la inteligencia artificial y si sabe cómo genera contenido. Eso es importante. Yo entiendo de que obviamente, claramente por cuestiones de sostenibilidad, tengamos mucha resiliencia al uso excesivo de ese tipo de herramientas. Pero lo cierto es que no vamos a nosotros mismos poder diferenciar entre qué es lo que produce una máquina versus qué es lo que produce un humano si no conocemos y sabemos cuáles son los diferentes estilos y formas como, por ejemplo, redacta. Y uno lo puede ver, o sea, si uno utiliza con cierta frecuencia, claramente se da cuenta quién hizo un post, quién publicó en las redes sociales usando solamente inteligencia artificial y no usándolo como un asistente, que es básicamente lo que podemos usar como sugerencia, que me parece también correcto. Darnos ideas o propuestas que no necesariamente tengamos inicialmente, porque tenemos un día, estamos cansados, venimos de hacer muchas otras tareas, no solamente de interpretar, pero queremos hacer algún comentario, publicar algo quizás en redes y puede ser útil simplemente para activar esa chispa, darnos ideas, pero luego siempre nosotros somos las personas que estamos a cargo de redactar y de finalmente ofrecer o compartir un mensaje. Y en cuanto a los agentes personalizados, yo creo que es interesante sobre todo a nivel de trabajo con edición de textos. Uno puede personalizar a tal punto un agente que puede compartirle guías de estilo, puede decirle que revise sus posts previos, los que ya tienes publicado de años quizás en redes o no, y decirle, este es mi estilo, aprende un poco a cómo yo normalmente me expreso para que nuevamente nos dé una guía. Es simplemente un asistente, no es alguien que me va a reemplazar, porque yo siempre voy a estar guiando. Y no sé si a ustedes les pasa, pero yo siempre tengo este conflicto y de hecho lo conversábamos ahora en la mañana en nuestra mesa con Waze, ¿no? Ahora todos los taxistas de aplicativos o en general uno mismo utiliza Waze para moverse, ¿no? Para utilizar, o el Google Maps. Y ciertamente cuando uno, por ejemplo, llama al aplicativo desde un edificio, en muchos casos el taxi va a la calle de atrás y no necesariamente a la calle en donde está tu salida en el edificio. Y constantemente cuando reclamas y el taxista llega y te dice, bueno, señorita, la estoy esperando aquí. Digo, bueno, no hay nadie, ¿dónde está? Y es, bueno, donde me dijo Waze. Y entonces yo me siento siempre en el taxi y le digo, perfecto, es una herramienta y genial, nos ayuda y nos orienta, pero tiene que seguir utilizando esto, que es muy importante y hay que mantenerlo siempre bien aceitado para que vea la dirección y me lleve al lugar correcto y no me diga de que usted ya llegó y no, y pasamos 15, 10 minutos en pleno debate de dónde está y no quiere simplemente porque la máquina se lo dijo o me lleva por un lugar muy peligroso porque no tiene la conciencia ni la capacidad de discernir entre qué zona de una ciudad es más peligrosa que otra. En el caso de América Latina esa es una realidad y probablemente en muchas otras ciudades grandes también. Entonces es eso, es la herramienta, no es un reemplazo y finalmente está aquí para ayudarnos en la medida que queramos o no, está ahí muchos de los programas que antiguamente utilizamos ya tienen algún tipo de inteligencia artificial incluida. Podemos negarnos absolutamente a ello, o podemos, como decía mi compañera, apagarlo, pero lo cierto es que va a seguir ahí. Y por lo menos ser conscientes de qué hace, cómo lo hace, para decir con seguridad, por esto no, nos hace mucho más capaces de poder asesorar hasta nuestros propios clientes y decirle en qué situaciones funciona la inteligencia artificial, qué cosas se puede hacer o no. Hay herramientas como Calendly, creo que son los, acá lo tengo, Calendly, por ejemplo, que prácticamente tiene ahora muchas opciones para poder gestionar citas, que te puede enviar recordatorios que uno puede claramente redactar o también pedir a la inteligencia artificial que te dé alguna especie de recordatorio y simplemente cuando una persona dice quiero tener una cita contigo y la confirma, puede enviar recordatorios, puede enviar también reconfirmaciones y eso es algo automático. No va a pasar nada si uno ya lo tiene como una plantilla. No va a cambiar el hecho de que no tengamos esa reunión persona a persona, ¿no? Con nuestro cliente, sino todo lo contrario.
Yes, I agree with everything everybody has said so far, but for the purposes of my question, I will focus on what Alexandra and Gildo have said, because I agree with what you said, but I also agree with what Monica said. When you receive a communication generated with AI, I do not react in the same way. And in Italy, we now have a law wherefore it is compulsory to disclose if you have used AI in the production of whatever, social media content, but also emails. I haven't studied the details yet, but I'm pretty sure that is also included. So question is, how would you react if someone sent you an email saying, you know, I deeply regret your mother passed away in a sad car accident, very unfortunate, generated by ChatGPT? So that's my conundrum, because in Italy now it is going to be implemented soon. It's still sort of getting implemented gradually.
I think she has asked. Yeah, but I think she had raised her hand before. She was.
Sobre el tema de cómo usamos la inteligencia artificial fuera de la cabina, yo pienso un poco en el ámbito jurídico en el que muchos de nosotros trabajamos y donde tenemos contundentemente prohibido poner material de nuestros clientes en estas herramientas. A mí me ha tocado mucho en arbitrajes internacionales con colegas que quizás no han trabajado, porque armo equipos de intérpretes. El colega me ha confiado a mí preparar a 6 testigos. A veces con colegas, a veces no. El colega puede preparar al testigo, el colega que va a hacer el arbitraje no pudo y no puedo compartir ese material. Lo que sí puedo decir es, juntos armamos una búsqueda con inteligencia artificial sobre la tecnología china de un parque eólico o de una tecnología de patentes de materia genética forestal, que son los temas de los que trata el arbitraje, pero no son los documentos del cliente. Y ahí vamos muchísimo mejor preparados. De esa manera podemos decirle al cliente, respetamos la regla de privacidad, también hemos hecho el trabajo que de otra manera no podríamos hacer, sin sentarnos con el ingeniero agrónomo o con el médico o con el especialista de energías renovables. Eso para mí ha sido valiosísimo, sobre todo con colegas jóvenes que le tienen miedo a estos trabajos desafiantes y dicen, tú me vas a ayudar. Le digo, no, yo te voy a ayudar a que tú te ayudes. Y así, como equipo, podemos hacerlo mejor.
¿Quieres contestar?
I just want to remind everyone, there is a part 2 of this discussion. So you will have your turn, okay? All right, yes. And we have a live built agent, another demo, so we keep the conversation going. I see so many hands, I can't count that fast. But we'll make sure you get turns, okay? All right, go ahead.
Sí, 2 cositas simplemente porque se han tratado de soslayo pero sin nombrarlas y está relacionado con lo que decía este caballero. Lo más importante, uno de los puestos de trabajo en el que más se está ganando hoy en día y en el que más se va a ganar es lo que se llamaba antes el prompt engineering y que hoy se llama context engineering. ¿Por qué? Pues precisamente porque son ingenieros de instrucciones, es decir, las instrucciones adecuadas que se le van a dar a la IA para que funcione casi perfectamente. Eso punto número 1. Y después, con lo que decía el caballero, estupendo, pero cuidado, porque la IA, cuando no sabe algo, se lo inventa.
So I'll try to go back to the perspective of consultant interpreters, because what we do is we communicate a lot with the clients in order to get assignments for our colleagues. And maybe part of why we are so good at what we do is we still communicate like humans. We might find it more not as difficult to write emails. We might find it pleasant to pick up the phone and talk to people, and that is why we are consultant interpreters. But and actually the last 10 minutes sounded like a dystopia to me, because AI is excelling what I do and augmenting and is my second me. It sounds very scary, really. I would even say, and that might be controversial, it's not augmenting me, it makes me wither. Because sorry, this is controversial now, but if a client's mom passed away, and I don't have the decency to sit down 10 minutes and think. We are masters of communication, maybe even call, which we really need to be courageous to do that. If we unlearn this decency as human beings, this is not, I don't know, a brave new world I want to live in. It's very dystopian to me. And if I receive that email, and in Italy, and also in Germany, because this is the European Union, I read AI written, I'm so offended, and I'm not easily offended. Then we will have lost part of what makes us human, and that's what I wanted to say, like my bottom line. What differentiates us from artificial intelligence is that we are human intelligence, and if we forget what it is to be human and like face-to-face conversation, that's really sad.
Yeah, I mean.
And on that happy note.
Yeah.
Okay. One last turn. Okay. There is the microphone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Whoa, wait. Should I just interrupt the kerfuffle? So, 3 things very quickly. I share your dystopian concerns because AI can be a horrible tool emotionally if people go to the path of least resistance, and that's where people always go. A friend got fired recently, and the message firing him began, hey, here's your message saying that you can fire this person. The person didn't go through the trouble of deleting the beginning of the answer from the AI. And he was getting fired. It's like, what the fuck? But 2 things, sorry for the bad word, but I think it was warranted in this case. Just 2 things about AI. AI is not LLMs. LLMs are a form of AI. Just this morning, I was transcribing everything that was being said today with a local on-device ASR model. I was completely offline, and it was mopping the floor with what they were producing with Boothie and Simo. It was significantly better. Auto detection for languages was better. Running on your device, because it's not an LLM. So it's important to take that differentiation. And the second thing is AI is going to be what you make of it. The context engineering part is important because you need to be able to understand that AI is not very good at being a second brain, but it is a very good brain booster. But you have to know how to structure the prompt in a way that makes it happen. So it takes a while, and I agree with you that simply copying an email from AI and pasting and sending somebody is just rude. It's divorcing us from our humanity. But sometimes it will help, and like, I want to express this, and this is what I have. Do you feel that this is setting the right tone for this particular business context? And OpenAI and ChatGPT and Gemini will be good at it, but Claude will be great at it because Claude is particularly good at writing. So having that knowledge, not only of what it can do, but what it cannot do, and also keeping in mind that there are alternative solutions to everything is important. I'm not all doom and gloom. I do feel that there's doom and gloom that's warranted, but it's what they call the BAH, the best available human. If the AI in your context is better than the best available human to do what you need to do for you there, great. If not, go to the human first.
Okay, thank you very much. That was the last comment, the really last one, and I promised Heidi she would be the first one for part 2. All right, look at that. Sunshine, coffee, you can talk, you can mingle, and we'll see you back here in half an hour, yes?
So there are 2 messages. One from CCIC, I suppose they want to take a picture, and the second one is from AIIC Spain, is it correct? So you both, there's 3, there's a third one. And AIIC Brazil as well. You need to take pictures, so please find your relevant representatives. I assume Claire, here, okay. CCIC where, here as well? You take turns, that's, okay. We will reconvene in half an hour, please. Half an hour, thank you.